All right. Well, welcome to this edition of How to Use Garageband. Today we're going to talk about exporting your project. So after you've recorded everything on your tracks from your podcast, you've got your audio you've recorded. Here it says female voice, but that's really just where I've got my background sound effects, like my highlight reel. Once I start playing it, you can hear it. So really you can have anything on each track. When you're finished with it, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you have all the volume levels set where you want. So what you can do is you can turn your slider over. So now when you hear it, see it's much quieter. Or I could turn it down. And you want to be able to balance it so that everything works together.
I'm your host, Guy.
Now what might happen is if your audio is too loud in certain parts and you want it lower in others, I can show you an advanced trick. If you hit this little down arrow, what you can do is by clicking on it and see how it says track volume off on the side. I can click once where I want the volume to start going down, and then I can click again, and then I can drag it down. And then if I want it loud again for when my cow moves here, I can click once here and once again here and pull it back up to its original volume, and it has this line that's your bass line. So now you'll see that my cheering's not as loud,
broadcasting to America's northernmost state.
and then the volume comes right back up again for my move. But if each volume needs to be the same, then you would just adjust it over here on the left side. When you're finished, you're going to go to export, and you're going to do that by hitting share. So when you hit share, you're going to want to export podcast to disk. You want to make sure it says compress using the MP3 encoder, not the AAC, but the MP3. A musical podcast is fine for audio settings, and then you hit export. And it'll say this will not export as an enhanced podcast, and that's okay. Hit continue. And we will call this one our final copy, so this is called Cyberbullying Newscast, and you hit save. And I'm going to replace it because I'm putting a new one. So it'll create your mix down. And this turns it from a GarageBand project into a format that a computer can read that does not have GarageBand installed on it. So we'll be able to use it with other applications later. It takes a little while to do that. Once it's finished, I'd like you to actually re-export it one other time. And this time, I want you to drop all of the sound down on everything except for your original track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my volume all the way down. Oh, it won't let me because that's clicked. So I'm going to turn this volume down, and now when you play it, you'll notice that there's nothing going on because the volume's completely dropped out, except for your original audio track.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of
What we're going to do is we're going to export this by doing share, and then we're going to export podcast to disk. Same settings, MP3 encoder. Continue, we don't want it to be enhanced. And now we're going to just call it Cyberbullying Newscast Voice. And then you're going to re-export the process. It'll go through the exact same thing it did before. This way you'll be able to take just your audio track and put it onto your computer in the computer lab, and you'll be able to then re-edit it. So you can try again with different sound effects. All right, good luck, and I'll see you when I get back.